Homesteaders. I hope this finds everyone doing okay. Welcome back to Ruby Homestead. I'm Nikki. I am bringing you week 2 of raising Cornish Cross. Alright, now you can see I had to divide them into 3 pens the other day because, let me see, probably all healed up now, but about 2 or 3 of the chicks had where they were getting overcrowded. They were starting to peck on each other, so they had a couple little bloody spots on their backside, on their butt. That's usually the first thing that they'll start pecking on each other, is either their tail feathers or on the back of their head. So you do need to be mindful of that. If this happens, give them more space. 9 times out of 10, that will help. So, what we did, we divided them up, and honestly, before week 3, these guys are probably going to be moved outside because they're just getting way too big to be in here. Seriously? Okay, so, it didn't require any doctoring or anything. It just barely broke the skin. In most cases, though, you can fix it. Say you have one that gets wounded or attacked or whatever, and this goes with any chicken. If you have one that gets hurt, rinse it with peroxide. Make sure the wound is clean, and you can add Neosporin to it. Neosporin and peroxide are miracles, okay? So, you've already seen how I clean out the bedding. I am going to talk to you about a different feeder because I don't have another long tray feeder. This works out really well. There's not as many openings for it. You can tell they've been standing on it. It's dirty. This is just a Tupperware. This is really nice and cheap. You just cut holes in it and then you put food in it. This works really well. They love it and they figured it out really quickly. It also, I honestly like it better because they don't get all the shavings in it. So eventually I will probably try to do some longer containers, like a shoebox or something like that. Which is actually what I have to feed my quail. They're growing more feathers. As you can see, they're wing feathers. You see the little wing feathers are coming in real nice. Their feet grow really fast too. As you can see too, we have 2 heat lamps hooked up. This one provides enough for both of these. I also opened the vent in this room so the heat gets in here as well. Mainly for these guys because it's an open cage. But they're doing good. Most of the time, you'll have some sleeping here. You'll have a few even sleeping over here, so they are perfect. And the water is just a bigger version of what I have. And it is set on an old pie pan to keep a lot of the shavings out. And I only have to fill that one once every day and a half-ish. I usually end up filling it every day, but these things, at this point, I'm ending up filling them at least twice, sometimes 3 times a day. I know, that was a cool trick, wasn't it? But anyway, I'm going to get these chicks in a clean house, and I will show you. I'm going to finish up this bag of shavings. And then I also bought the bigger shavings. These are fine shavings, and I have the flake shavings that I'm going to transition them to. So I'll just use up the rest of these and then use the other shavings. And I still have probably about 1/4 of the bag of food. I did pick up another bag today just because that way I don't have to panic and run, and maybe they'll be out because of this ice storm and everything. So I went ahead and bought another bag so they'll be set. So far the one bag has lasted me 2 weeks. It will probably last me another 3 days. Almost shoot and say 3 days. But I'm going to get these guys cleaned up and I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, so on this little guy, you can see his wings are forming pretty well. Now, let me get him turned right. This is one of the ones that was hurt. Do you see that mark right there? I know the lighting's not too good, but that dark mark right there, that's just where they pecked him. And now they've got more space, so it's healing. As you can tell, they're not pecking him anymore. Okay, so due to the space issue, I will start taking the food away at night. And then I'll just keep their thing full during the day. As they transition to outside, they will get fed once a day, and that's it. Alright, and they're panting. They need water. All the body heat in such a small place is wearing on them pretty quick like. So I'm going to get them some water and we'll be good to go. I managed to make the fine shavings last for all 3 pins, which is awesome. That means 1 bag of shavings for 2 weeks. Okay? So, and then just under a whole bag of feed for 2 weeks. One thing I did notice when I put them back in here, anytime, every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, you need to look at your chicks and you need to be able to read them, okay? So especially when you do what I just did, where I moved them from here to here to here, to there to there to there, they might not end up in the same box they were, or between all the movement. So what happened was some of them were overheating. You can tell when they're overheating because they start breathing really hard. I gave them cold water and they were still just breathing really hard, stretching out, trying to get cool, which made no sense because they were laying under the heat lamp. But they're not the smartest critters in the world, okay? I also noticed that they are big. They are very large. So I moved them over here and put a couple of the smaller ones over here, because this bin is going to hold the heat more. Okay, so I want them to be able to get away from the heat when they need to. Just for the time being, I have also closed the vent to this room to see if that helps. Now, if I come in a little bit and these guys are all huddled up in a corner smushing each other, I'm going to have to open the vent back up. We might have to rearrange, we'll have to do something. But then you got that guy over there who's like under the light and he's holding his wing out and stretching and soaking in the sun. They're so weird. But yeah, just learn to kind of read your chicks and figure out if you need to lower your lamp, if you need to move your chick to a different bin, if they need colder water, if your water is too close to the heat lamp. I always try, well, except for this one, to put the water at the far end of the container away from the heat lamp so it stays cooler. Because if you put this water bottle under that heat lamp, it's going to get hot and nobody's going to want to drink it. It's going to end up nasty and dirty and nobody's going to drink it and they're going to be thirsty. Don't do that. Alright, well, this is the end of week 2. I'll see y'all Thursday for week 3. We will be moving them out to the brooder outside by week 3, if not earlier. We'll just kind of wait and see how it goes, though. I'm going to try to get them to make it to week 3 before I put them outside, though. That way they can get a little more feathers, and that kind of thing. But I'm going to let these guys be alone for a little bit. Do more chores. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is Ruby Homestead, and I'm Nikki. Bye, y'all.